Hi everyone, this is Cindy Creating the Heart, and I'm back with my 12 days of Christmas. So I'm continue on with flat cards, and I forgot to turn my video on when I made this card. So I'll be making another card with you guys instead. So this is using this really pretty tree stamp set. I have the die as well as the stencil from Pink Fresh Studio. And so you can see all the little pieces that I have here. And so you could stencil right on there and, you know, stamp it, stencil it, and just make a card completely flat. I also have an example where I used the die and I cut out the pieces and I placed it on a piece that I embossed. And that makes it not quite as flat, but it's still pretty flat. So I used... You can see right here, I just did some splatter and just inked right on my panel, and then used a gold matting. And then this one, what I did was I kind of did some splatter and a little bit of inking before I ran it through my embossing folder, and then it kind of gave this really kind of pretty look. And then I stenciled and I used the die to cut it out. So that gives you some options, and you can see the sentiments that I use there, which I will show you what I use at the end of the video. So I'm going to be actually using, for this particular card, I'm using a very simple background stamp and stencil from Pink Fresh Studio. I'm kind of gathering things to get this together. This one is a winter foliage is the name of it. So I'm kind of digging around to go and find that. So I did forget to film that first one, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one because this one's a really simple one. So I just inked in, I believe, in black, even though I think this would also be really nice embossed in gold. And so here we are, ready to go. I've taped down my stencil, and I'm going to do kind of a lighter green. I believe I'm doing aquamarine. So I'm kind of doing these kind of blue greens. So these greens have a little hint of blue in them. And so this one I'm doing in this aquamarine color. And I'm using my Pink Fresh Studio brushes. You'll see me also switch over to my Ulta New blending brushes, and I absolutely freaking love them. They're like my favorite brushes, to be honest, for sort of this simple blending. I think it's a good one. So I sped it up just a little bit here and there, so it's not too tedious watching the blending. So this is a particular easy one. It is only 3 stencils, so it's very, very quick and easy. You can do a lot more things with this type of a background, but my goal, of course, is to do quick cards so that are flat, and so I didn't do anything too crazy. So the second stencil, I'm using Paradise, which is very much more of a teal, and so I'm just kind of doing things a little bit outside the box. So I've got some blue going. I actually did not take down that stencil, so it's kind of wiggling a little bit. I forgot to do it, so, but it's quick. And then last, we're going to go ahead and use a Berrylicious is the name of the Pink Fresh Studio color, to go ahead and do those berries. And so that's a quick one. I wanted my berries a little bit darker than they kind of came out. I probably should have used a darker red, but it's okay. It's pretty subtle, actually, so it's fine. And I'm going to go ahead and just finish off this one right here. Now you could, like I said, build up. You could put another floral, and you could do things that you have on foam. You could do the sentiment on foam, but the whole idea is that these are cards that could easily be mailed without worrying about you know, not going through the mail. So, and so instead of putting like gems or sequins or anything like that, I'm gonna spritz, not really spritz, I'm actually gonna be throwing down some gold watercolor. And this watercolor is actually from, let's see, oh, everything's down over here, which you can't see. It's from Picket Fence Studios. And so it is their gold watercolor. And I'm just using a water brush. So this water brush has been sacrificed strictly for this sort of thing. So you can see it's got a lot of white on it. I use it for white quite a bit. So it's been sacrificed. It's strictly just for splatter, and I just use a water brush. It's just easier for me, and that's what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and get that going. And then we're going to, I don't know what the pause is here. I'm going to let it actually dry for a hot second, and then we're going to put it all together. So I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4, and then I cut a piece of gold cardstock. It's a very, very thin cardstock from Michaels, and so I'm using that just for a little bit of extra, you know, color. And I'm going to place that on top, my panel on top of that gold mat. I'm going to place the other piece on top. Right there. So for my sentiments, I am using the Perfect Sentiments Holiday Hot Foil Plate and Die. I believe I got this on clearance maybe last year. I don't have the stamp set. Actually, it's great. And what I've learned is maybe I don't always need the stamp set and the press plate. So if I get the press plate, maybe not get the stamp. Maybe I don't need the whole shebang. So because it worked out really nicely with the sentiments, I really liked it. So here are the cards that I made with this video. I've got my winter foliage cards. I have that one, and then I have the other one, and this one doesn't have the gold mat around it. It has a different sentiment. And then here are the other two little tree cards. I love how those came out, and you can see all those sentiments came from that Perfect Sentiments. Thank you so much for watching.